So we've got some very, very sad news that we want to share with you today, and it's really not the vlog that I don't think anyone would want to make
or expect basically.
And I know there's been a lot of questions about what has happened with Dandy, and
yeah, there's like edits on TikTok and then just saying that you don't ride Dandy anymore, or you've lost your confidence on him, or you want to ride Blue now.
And that I'm not favouriting Dandy anymore because I've had a confidence knock, and it couldn't be further from the truth. And that's like, this has been going on for ages, and it's hard to explain to people when there's so much going on, and
it's all behind the scenes, isn't it? Like no one knows what we've been going through, and we've been trying to navigate through this. You know, there's something wrong with Dandy,
but it's not his fault, and it's no one's fault. It's something that it can't really be fixed, and that's not his fault.
So I think we need to go back to the start. So we bought our lovely boy Dandy in January, and he was just amazing, isn't he?
It felt like I won the lottery. He's been just incredible, and the memories that we've had, I'm never going to forget.
Dandy is 6 years old.
He's practically a baby.
Yeah, he had a bit of a late start because he was gelded late, and we bought him in January. He's all up and running, but he was ready to take on the world basically and just get on with everything. And that's exactly what we did. So we got him in January, and we started doing arena hires, competitions. His workload really upped.
We were having
the best
time ever. I mean, that pony taught me so much, and the things that we've done together have been incredible, and he's really got me into my workers. He's done everything for me. We've been out cross country, he took me eventing, and when I broke my ankle, we were just like, oh, that's really unlucky, like he's had a week off, he's just, because we went skiing for a week, and then I came back, did some flat work with Dandy for a few days, and then that's when I jumped him. And it was only about 65, and he just came up to it and he just said, no, like I can't. And we were like, oh, he's just forgotten himself a little bit.
Yeah, just out of the swing of things. There'd been another occasion, which was probably about a month or so before, where Harlow had it was actually your first fall on him, wasn't it? Which we didn't decide to put in the vlog because it would have got loads of views if we'd shown it, or
it wasn't necessary to put in.
Yeah, because actually we're going to show it now, but actually, and the only reason why we're going to show it is because I want you guys to understand
the extent of
the severity of what is wrong with Dandy, and just the behaviour of what's happened basically. So he didn't sort of pick his feet up, did he? He was coming to a step.
So he went up the step and just kind of
lost his footing.
He just forgot where to put his legs, and he just forgot where his legs were a little bit. And we didn't turn a blind eye to it, but we were just like, oh, it's his first time going up a big step. Like,
it was a big step.
He's
a baby, never done anything like this before. Could just be clumsiness.
And in the moment, you don't think that anything's wrong.
No, but now looking back and trying to piece all of the incidents together, and there's a sort of a pattern going on here.
Now you can see.
Now you can see.
Because in the moment, you don't second guess anything, and you don't think like, oh, well, it could be this, it could be that. Because
oh no, and you wouldn't think, because that could have literally just been just a clumsy incident and
got
a baby
moment,
and no one batted an eyelid at it. But I just thought it was too almost scary to put in a vlog. I thought it didn't need to be. I want to keep everything fun and positive, and not that we're trying to hide anything, but I also don't want to put people off either, like what can sort of happen. And horses are dangerous, it's a dangerous sport.
Apart from this vlog, our channel is very positive. We don't like to share negative energy. we like.
Yeah, we want to keep everything positive.
But at the same time, we are real.
Yeah.
And everything's organic. Like the falls.
Yeah,
you know,
it's actually
the mistakes.
the only
everything
sort of
is-
time which I've sort of held something like that and kept it to ourselves. I thought, does it need to be shown? But anyway, so that's the reason why it wasn't on one of the vlogs. And anyway, so he had that, and then not so long after, a few weeks or so, he just stopped on a normal jump at home, which he jumped loads of times before. There's no reason to stop at it, and that's when Harlow broke
Which
her
is
ankle.
what we thought there was no reason for him to stop at it.
Yeah.
That's what we thought at the time.
Yeah, and we just thought, you know, just out the swing of it. Anyway, so then I spoke to the producer who we bought him from, and she said, well, it's not like him, he doesn't stop. Like, Dandy never stops. And we thought the
coming
same.
up to that, he never really stopped before,
No,
had
he
he?
hadn't. He'd been absolutely amazing. So we, again, I was just like, oh, you know, why is he doing that? So while Harlow was recovering from the ankle, we thought, right, we've got to nip this stopping in the bud, you know, while we can. Let's just sort it out. Harlow can't ride him anyway, so he'll go back to hers for, I think it was about a month, wasn't it? A month, 5 weeks maybe.
Yeah, just over a month.
And he was doing all the competitions, he was doing all the qualifiers, that he was
Amazing.
winning, he was getting placed, he was being phenomenal, he was absolutely incredible, and even went reserve champion. He won the sash,
He got
didn't
this
he?
beautiful flower sash. He was just
Amazing.
amazing. He was proper flying, and then we had him home.
And then he went eventing with Meg, and again, nothing out of the ordinary, was there?
Dressage and show jumping went amazing.
Yep, he didn't knock any poles, he didn't stop, there was no incidents, he was amazing. And then he went out on the cross-country course, and we knew that was going to be his weakness because he's inexperienced. And anyway, he went out on the course, he did have a stop at the double, and which we had found that had been a bit of a pattern anyway. And then he got around to like a fence, I think it was like fence 11 or 12, and he just came into the jump.
His back legs went underneath him. He just slid, and then his front legs went on top
So he
of
breached
it.
the jump. So he went, he's like, no, I'm not going over the jump. Oh, I'm going over the jump. And then he went, most ponies would have just stopped and be like, no, I'm not, especially if they didn't want to jump, they would have been like, I'm putting the brakes on. No way, I don't like that fence, I'm not going over it. Whereas he slammed the brakes on, didn't go over, but then he did go over. There was a delayed reaction, wasn't there?
Yeah.
So, and that had actually happened off camera a couple of times prior, hadn't it? Just like, and we just thought clumsiness, you know, didn't want to go. Then he thought, oh, I am going to go. And that's exactly what it was, but it wasn't his fault. It wasn't like he didn't want to do it.
And none of
It was
this is
because
his fault.
It was because he couldn't.
It's no one's fault.
So, and then it got to, so that happened with Meg. And I just thought, you know what, eventing is not for him. We're not going to do that anymore. We're going to stick to what he's good at, which is the workers. He's very good. He's been really successful. He's had a phenomenal start to the season. And, you know, he's done great, hadn't he? Just missed out on a qualifier. He was second, which is amazing for his first year. He's so talented. And yeah, so it got to, we had him back. Anyway, so he came home and we thought, oh my gosh, you know, he's literally a different pony. We'd had him back a few weeks. We'd just been hacking him. He was brilliant. And you jumped him, and honestly, it was the best he ever gone.
It was the first ride back vlog, I'm pretty sure. And I jumped him in the arena, and he was absolutely amazing.
And I even remember sending the videos to the producers and saying, oh my gosh, look at him. Like, you know, he's had a few weeks break, and then Harlow got on him, and it just did him the world of good. And that's exactly what we wanted to do. We wanted to bring him home, just to reset him, take the pressure off it, doing all of the shows and the qualifiers. Because we actually also found at the same sort of time, so come about May, he stopped loading, and being really, really stubborn to load, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then when you would load and travel, he would rear up the whole time. And it was so stressful, wasn't it?
It was really stressful.
I remember that day we took him to the event with Meg, and my gosh, he was just rearing the whole time. And then to get him home, well, it took about half an hour to load him. And this is a
Half an hour,
pony.
45 minutes. And this is a pony that would go up our lorry,
turn
by
back round,
himself.
yeah, and then you turn back round and be like, oh, actually, no, I want to put the other one on. I'm going to take him off, then I'm going to put him back on. And he'd be up, down, up, down.
He loaded himself. Like, you chucked the lead rope over his neck and he'd go up the ramp himself.
Yeah. And we're travelling. We've been on like 5-hour journeys, and he hadn't batted an eyelid. He travelled like a dream. So that was another bit of a behavioural thing.
Difference.
And I just put that down to, you know, he's done a lot this year. I put it down to he's just sick of going out and going out to shows. So that's why we want to bring him home, give him a break, just stick to hacking, a little bit of schooling just to take the pressure off. And we was like, no shows whatsoever. So that was the plan. So you jumped him at home. He was phenomenal. And I thought our plan is really, really working.
So I jumped him. We did loads of hacking. And I was doing a lot of schooling with him. No, not much jumping, barely anything.
Just poles and stuff.
Just pole work and schooling. And one day I took him in the arena just to do some normal schooling. He was in a snaffle.
It was the day before, actually. So the day before, I was out here with you, and you was doing a little bit of jumping, nothing big, and he just started tripping around the corners, didn't he?
Yeah.
And I just thought, oh, he's just being lazy. He did it about 5 or 6 times, but nothing major, nothing.
No.
You would see it at a normal show,
we
wouldn't you?
were just tripping, and it was almost like he just knocked his boots and he just tripped a little
Didn't
bit.
pick the feet up. It was.
Yeah.
I didn't eat after that session. I didn't even bat an eyelid at it.
No.
And
It was a little bit unusual because
he'd never done it
he's
before.
quite careful with his feet.
But he wasn't falling. And then it was the next day,
I just came in to do some light schooling with him,
some flat work.
just some normal flat work for like 15-20 minutes, and I just popped him into canter. I'd already done a lap of canter on the other rein, so I picked up canter on the left rein in this corner, and I was cantering all the way around and to the corner where the gate is, at the opposite end
Heading
of the arena.
towards the gate.
Heading towards the gate, he just fell on his face completely with me on him. And I wouldn't class it as a rotational because we didn't rotate.
But you weren't jumping, were you? So it was
We
just
weren't
flat
jumping. We were just in
fell.
a steady canter. I had a contact, so it's not like he was stretching in the canter and he, caught his reins and he tripped. He had loose contact, and he just fell straight on his face. Poor Dandy. His bridle was covered in sand. He had it all on his eyelashes, in his forelock, all over his knees, his chest, his martingale, everything was just covered in sand.
And he actually helped you, didn't he, to get, pushed you back in the seat.
We'll show the video because we've got it on CCTV. And so he fell, and he actually, while we were on the ground, because I was on his neck, he chucked his head up and then lifted his knees up, and right after that I just got off. I was like, this isn't normal.
So that was the realisation that something's not quite right here, and she didn't get, but you got straight off of him, and then that's when we got the vets involved. And
it wasn't normal.
Yeah. So then he was lunged and everything, and he was completely sound on the hard ground, but on the lunge,
On a surface,
he was
ever so slightly, like, unless you weren't looking for it, you couldn't notice.
But yeah, there's something, he wasn't quite right. He was a bit lame on a soft circle, but not he wasn't hopping lame, and he wasn't even bobbing.
It
was just
so
minor,
gradual.
so minor, and you really had to know what he was looking for. So anyway,
I remember while we were out in the arena, someone was lunging, and we had like 4 or 5 people out here just watching him, to just try and notice his lameness.
Yeah,
because it was so minor.
So yeah, he actually went on like anti-inflammatory stuff for 10 days, and then he went into the vets for a lameness workup and everything. They just did everything, and I just said, just get to the bottom of it, just do everything you need to do. So they x-rayed him, all of his legs, and couldn't find anything. So then they thought, well, if they can't find anything going on in the legs, then we're going to go to the neck. So they went to the neck and found that he had something called an OCD, which is basically a bit of bone chip basically, and it's very, very common, and actually not anything too serious. It's usually picked up on like vettings and stuff when you go to buy a pony.
And normal like neck x-rays.
Yeah, and we had Dandy 5-stage vetted when we bought him.
But we didn't have X-rays.
We didn't have X-rays. The fragment would have actually shown up on an X-ray. But yeah, people still buy them even with a fragment because they're very easily removed, and
they don't cause much
they don't cause much discomfort. Anyway, so the vet said, you know, we'll get that removed, but he sent them off to someone and to a surgeon, and the surgeon was like, oh no, he needs to see someone more of a specialist. So at this point there still wasn't any major, I thought we're dealing with a fragment, and we get the fragment out, that's what's causing the lameness, it's pressing on a nerve, we'll get that out and off we go.
Originally, before we knew it was a fragment, we were thinking things like tendons, ligaments, abscesses, things like that, which are serious, but compared to what he's got going on,
I wish it was one of those
So
things.
minor.
Yeah, when people, you know, they do a tendon, whatever, I wish all day long, I wish it was 4 tendons compared to what he's been dealt with. So, yeah, anyway, he went, he had to go to Lip Hook Hospital for a much more in-depth, I don't know if they suspected other things going on because of everything that was happening. I don't know, but
he went to Lip Hook Hospital, which is
basically
like,
because of the fragment.
Yeah.
Because of that fragment was there and we wanted to get it removed, we had to then go for a CT scan. So he was booked in to go and do that.
Which is quite serious. Like CT scans don't happen
unless you really need them.
Because there's quite a lot of effort that you need to go through. Like the ponies are put under general anaesthetic, they're hung upside down, especially if you need to X-ray the neck.
CT the neck. Yeah, so they put into this machine, and we just needed answers because we obviously we've got his best interests at heart, and we want to get him better, and we need to know what's going on. And we hadn't had any answers apart from this fragment,
which we were told wasn't actually.
Yeah. So after that, then we got the call to say yes, there is a fragment, and yes, they can remove it, but actually the fragment wasn't causing any issue whatsoever.
The fragment isn't the problem, basically.
And there is so much more going on, and it is in fact a very, very complex case, and
it's something that they've never seen before in a pony.
I've asked our physio Alice to kind of come over today and help explain what is going on, basically, just to give you guys a bit of an insight. That she's going to be able to explain it better than what I can, because there's so much going on. He's had a CT scan now, which was actually about 6 weeks ago, and it's taken us this long to be able to accept it, process it, and even get to this stage where we can talk to you, because, well, even now it's such a hard vlog to make. So we're going to meet up with Alice in a minute and just explain, because I know you're all going to want to know, and we're going to tell you everything that's going on, exactly what's happened, what has been found, and yeah, just explain it so much better for you guys. So we're here with our lovely boy Dandy and our physio Alice Walker, who's going to help me explain what has happened, basically, and what's going on with Dandy. Alice has been our physio for our ponies for a couple of years now, and we trust you entirely. And when Harlow had her fall, where Dandy went down, and it wasn't a rotational, but he went flat on his face, didn't he?
Yeah.
I had it on CCTV, and I immediately sent it to Alice, and I said, this is just what's just happened. What do you think it could be? Because we didn't even know he was lame at that point. And Alice was like, she said, get off the pony, don't get on him again. I think it's neurological.
Yep.
Well, it could be neurological.
Yep.
And unfortunately,
I was right.
You were right, I know, but
one time I didn't want to be right. Yeah. And it's a really, really complex thing that's happened to Dandy. It's not what any of us wanted, hoped for.
Yeah. And incredibly rare.
Very rare. Becoming more common. But it is the way it's transpired, and what the outcome has now, we now know.
Yeah.
It is with, all the different elements of that are very rare.
So he went to our local vets and had everything x-rayed, everything. They couldn't find anything going on in the legs. So they then start going to the neck. So then they referred him to Lip Hook Hospital, and he's seen, well, one of the best in the world, isn't she? She is the top neck specialist, and he was under her care. He went in for a CT scan, and then that is when just everything unfolded of
the
severity. Of just
Yeah.
how complex it was, and it was just really the worst phone call ever when she called me back. First of all, she started speaking about the fragment, and I was like, okay, so we can take that out. She was like, there's a lot more. This is a very, very complex case, and actually is for someone who's so high up and experienced, and this was the worst, one of the worst she's ever seen. So yeah, I think over to you now to kind of explain exactly what.
So I'll go into a bit more of the science now, so people can understand actually what's wrong, and what what's going on underneath the skin, because it is highly complex. Unfortunately, it's becoming much more common. The way we're breeding horses, the way we're keeping horses, the horsemanship's changed a lot, and the demands on horses has changed a lot, and the way we're breeding them has changed a lot. So this unfortunately is becoming more common. The diagnostics are much better, so the awareness out there is improving. So I think understanding what's happening under the skin for every horse owner, every rider is so important.
And also, this is very rare. I don't want people to feel like, oh, my horse has tripped, my horse has done this. It is so rare, but I feel like people need to know this can happen. And it's a very young pony. He's 6 years old, and we haven't had him very long, but sort of it's just all started to unfold as the work loaded up. The problem started unfolding, which is why I think we found out like 6 months later.
And then you, in hindsight, is wonderful, and you look back and you can piece it all together. But at the time, it's very hard to put it all together. So in the horse's neck, they have massive neck bones here. The cervical spine runs through the neck. They're huge bones, and through the bones runs nerves. Nerves send signals from the brain to the legs and the whole body in order for a horse to move and function. So these bones need to have enough space, allow enough space for these nerves to fire the signals throughout the horse's body. And that is where it went a bit wrong for Dandy. The bones are not formed correctly at the base of the neck. So that means that there's no space for the nerve signals to go from the brain to the legs and even to the back end. So that leaves very limited treatment options. There are some options, but they're huge, enormous surgical options. And there is kind of no alternative. Nerves need a lot of blood flow and a lot of blood supply in order to be healthy and allow for these signals to go around the horse's body. They get very angry if there is not enough blood supply, and when the bones are pressing on the nerves, which is in Dandy's case, these spaces
in several
spots on both sides.
It's okay.
In several places on both sides where the bones are slightly larger, there's not enough space for the nerve signals to go through. That's right, isn't it?
So essentially, his joints are too big for his body, so meaning there's no space for the nerves, which means the signals are getting trapped, which means they're not
getting to where they need to go.
So they're not telling his legs, which would make sense, when he had that fall with Harlow where he went down, where he'd be cantering around, and that's just lost communication. But that leg didn't get the signal, it's got to place down. He went down. And the same thing with some of the jumping incidents. So when Meg rode him and she took him eventing, he breached the jump, so he stopped, but then he kind of went, and that, in my opinion, I thought that looked like a delayed signal. It didn't come, then it did, and he went over the jump, and it was all a little bit strange. And he's done that a few times, which I did put down to like greenness and just being a baby and clumsy.
Which it can be.
Yeah, it can be. So it was a sort of very blurred until the day that he went down, and I just thought, I can't, this is dangerous.
Yeah.
And he is this is
He
now
is
a dangerous pony. Now,
Absolutely.
knowing what we know now, he is a very dangerous pony to be ridden, which is absolutely no fault of his own. Like, he can't help what's going on inside,
No.
and he's not getting the right signals, and he's
also got pain. So where the compression happens, it can cause a lot of pain going down the leg and into different parts of his body, and that can cause the way he responds to certain things as well.
Yeah.
Between the numbness and the tingles and the weird sensations and the pain, which he has got no control of because it's something happening here. It's a bit like with humans, and actually this is how the surgery that was a possibility was developed, was actually from humans for this problem, because if lots of humans have problems in the necks where there isn't enough space for the nerves, and they just shave back the bone, and that allows for all the signals to kick back in. Humans, we can keep ourselves safe and we can moderate ourselves. There was still
and you can tell.
We can tell.
You can tell.
Yeah. Whereas with horses, it's a totally different situation. But that is basically what Dandy was feeling, was potentially some tingles and pain down his arms or legs, numbness.
Yeah.
Not being able to control his arms if he was a human, and that would have potentially led to what happened to him and Harlow.
Yeah.
In the school.
Wild. And bless him,
He does love a scratch.
he has got a lot of mane missing and forelock. I don't know if you can,
see all
notice, but when he came back, we was just like, oh my goodness. He had his CT scan and myelogram, and the myelogram. So the CT scan,
That's the images.
Under anaesthetic.
Yeah.
They turn them upside down, don't they? I think they do.
Yes, and they put it on, it creates a very it's like basically gives a sliced image, so you can see right through the neck.
The pony lays on the back, but like hanging from the legs, don't they? I think they do for a CT.
Yeah.
And they go into it.
He's under general.
Yep.
And then they image it, and then they analyse it, and that allows them to see every element of those images.
Yeah.
And see where there's spaces or no spaces.
Yeah. And basically, so we spent £6,500 to get a diagnosis, to get to this point where he's at right now, and to find out what the problem was. We needed every answer. It was just a non-negotiable. We just had to find out exactly what was going on. He's a child's pony. He's a child's jumping pony. We think so much of him, and we absolutely love him to bits. And to be honest with you, we felt like the luckiest people. I felt
He's looking at you like, why are you crying?
it's so sad.
I know. Good boy, you see these peeps love you. They do.
When we bought him, we felt like the luckiest people in the world. And I just feel like he's been so unlucky.
But he's also lucky to have owners that are so conscientious, like you guys.
Yeah.
So he is lucky to have you.
Oh, there's nothing we wouldn't do for him. And it's just been so hard to even, from this point, like to know what we're going to do with him. It's just been so hard. Because we did have options, and I'll hand it over to you what the options were.
Good boy. Yeah, so there were options for you guys with him. He had his neck medicated, which will take down the inflammation and make him a bit more comfortable, but it wouldn't have fixed the problem. It was very temporary. It just gave him a bit of temporary relief.
Yeah, it could just mask it.
It just masked it for a while. But the only way that this issue could potentially have been solved was through surgery, and quite a lot of surgery.
Yeah, so it was 5 operations he would need to basically fix him, with not a great prognosis really. They couldn't say like it's going to going to guarantee it. And then she said to me, like, they've done some surgeries where it worked and sometimes it hadn't, and he needed more surgeries than anyone. Like some of these that she had done, it was just in one place, where he needed 5 places fixed, and they can only do them one at a time. So it needed so many. So that means 5 anaesthetics, and then actually would have been another CT scan at the end, which would have made it like 6 surgeries to completely fix him. And
it wouldn't necessarily fix him. And I think that's...
Yeah, and then she said, would I put my child back on him even after it? She was like, I don't know. So, you know, obviously when it was also £5,000 per surgery, and then the few thousand after for the next CT scan, and then we've got the rehab and everything on top. We've got that's providing we get no complications in surgery. And also the main thing was, you know, there's a risk every time you put them under anaesthetic of, you know, waking back up basically, isn't there? And also coming round, and he was very explosive when he came round from the anaesthetic. He was so explosive, and he put up a fight, and he came back and he had like no eyebrow, and he was all skinned, and she said he's been through it because it must be just so strange for them when they come round, and they go into
disorientated
flight mode, you know,
especially with his neurology. And I think that was again that was quite a big thing actually, of, you know, if he can't control himself, how, you know, not just physically, the rehab, if you got to that point, would have been so challenging. And also, I just don't think I would forgive myself
if we lost him because we're trying to fix him, but we don't know it's going to work. It's got no guarantee, and you know, he broke his leg when he's coming back round. And I just, if it's not meant to be a ridden pony, he's not meant to be a ridden pony. I don't envy you having to make that. It's such a hard decision for someone to make. You know, anyone, especially with a pony like Dandy. Oh, he's so beautiful.
Who is, you know, from the surface you go, well, there's nothing wrong with this pony.
He's conformationally, he's perfect.
He looks strong. He isn't strong. We know that. But he looks strong. He's beautiful.
He's
talented. He can jump. He can do all these things. And that makes that decision so much harder. I don't envy you guys at all. But it is a very complex horse with a very complex condition. And I think we can't underestimate the fact that this neurological condition that he has in his neck, that you can't see to the naked eye, there's no swelling, there's nothing that the naked eye could see there, is very serious. It would make him very unsafe to ride. Well, he's unpredictable because he's unable to control his body. He's potentially could be in a lot of pain with it. A lot of factors that, you know, is very hard because you can't see it. It's not a fat leg. It's not, intermittently lame because of the pain in the neck, but he's not hopping lame. He still goes out in the field and bucks and farts. So we had the options of the injections, which just masking it and not fixing it at all, could wear out at any point. The 5 or 6 surgeries, which was initially, I was like, we're doing it. We're absolutely gonna go ahead and do it and fix him and save him. And you know, we've sat on this, we've had to process this for 6 weeks now since he's had the CT, and we've just gone through like a roller coaster of emotions, really, and I've gone through everything, and I think your natural instinct is like, I'm doing this, I'm saving it, I'm going to do whatever it takes. You want to save your baby, you know, a pony that is your pride and joy, absolutely.
And then as the weeks went on, and just processing it. And you came over and did physio for him because you said, right, we're doing the surgery, we've got to get him ready for it.
Yeah.
He needs to be strong.
And we did our whole neurological workup again for the surgeon.
Because he's been injected since. So when he had the CT, he's been injected. So that would be the treatment for minor cases, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So we did that anyway. So he's
a bit more comfortable.
Be a bit more comfortable. So we did that anyway. So and then when you came over, you was doing his physio and everything, and just seeing if there's any improvement since he's had the injection. And actually, it was a bit of a realisation again. Well, you was doing some like neurological
we were
things
testing
on
his
him,
neurology.
weren't you? Yeah. And he was just completely numb on his right hind. On his right hind,
Right hind, and through here, we couldn't get any muscle activation at all without doing some quite deep work.
Yeah.
And really stimulating it.
And like his bum just was complete, the other side was like flinching and doing everything and reacting to what you were doing, and then the other side, it was just nothing there, was there?
No.
And I just went in after you'd went, and I just thought, this pony, I feel like we need a miracle. It just feels like.
And that element of it would be, he does also have a little bit of spinal cord compression, which the surgeries wouldn't have necessarily made any difference to.
Yeah.
And that is how complex this case is. It kind of just another layer added
I know
to
when
it.
she was on the phone telling me, she was like, there's this. And I was like, okay, but I haven't finished yet. There's this and this. And I was just like, oh my gosh, it's just so much.
Yeah.
And no way of ever, I wouldn't, even if I had him x-rayed, I didn't have him x-rayed when we purchased him, even that wouldn't have picked up on it.
No.
So
this is a really unfortunate thing, and it's no one's fault.
No.
This is no one's fault.
No one knew. No one would have known. It's only because of what's happened.
Yeah, and
I've investigated it.
And you were really proactive in going, let's investigate. And I think that is, that's the thing. If you feel like something's not right, don't hesitate to investigate on things, because actually, you could have carried on.
Yeah.
And it could have
been much worse. I know. And then she, it's already been bad as it is. Harlow's broken her ankle on him, and again, he was stopping, and he doesn't stop. And I spoke to, our producer who had him, for 18 months prior, and she's like, he doesn't stop. He never stops. And I was like, oh, but he is stopping. He's stopped, and he's had Harlow off. And I think the workload did increase massively when we bought him. He hadn't done a lot up until that point, and then we got him, and it was like, we're going to do everything with him, and that's what that's what he should have been doing. That there was no reason why he couldn't have just gone on and got really cracking, with all of this work. But we just started unfolding problems. And so he stopped, and Harlow fell. And was that just him? There was no reason for him to stop that day, because it's his jumps at home. He's jumped them 100 times already. He's not a spooky pony. He's not scared of any jumps. He'll jump whatever. No. It was just all the signs. It was just so lucky that day that he fell down with Harlow, that it was on a surface. Harlow was okay. It could have been catastrophic.
Yeah, it could have been horrific.
And it was, it could have been out hacking. It could have been on a road. It could have been on tarmac. Harlow's face was this far off the ground. And it was just lucky it hasn't been any worse, and we found out what we have. What are you doing, Dad? You too.
I just want cuddles.
He's such a lovely boy. So, that is, so with everything we found out, good boy, darling, we haven't had, this is another thing that he's not great at, and this is all neurological, is the backing up.
Yeah, this is all to do with this issue at the base of the neck. Yeah.
And we put that down to rudeness, bit of arrogance. He was cut late.
Yeah.
I think he was cut at 5 as a stallion. So we just thought it's just, just a little bit of rude behaviour. And it's not his fault.
It's not his fault. It's to do with these vertebral bodies being the wrong, being too big in his neck, causing pain down his legs, pain we don't know elsewhere. We know we still are learning so much about neurology with the horse. We don't know where the pain stops and starts, but there's definitely pain there, as well as those differences in sensation, aren't there, Poppet?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, with the surgery option being just too much of a risk of it not working and then losing him,
and it also with the surgery, there is still no guarantee he's then safe for a child to ride.
No, she
At
did
the end
say
of
that. She said, I could do all of this and I'd love to do it for you and to see if it can work. And she has had horses where she's operated on, and they have gone out and returned to their normal lives, but with adults on.
Yeah.
This is the first ever pony she has seen
It's the first,
this with, and she's like the go-to in the country. There's no one actually doing this surgery in the country other than her.
Yeah.
So he's been seen by the best, basically. We've gave him the best, the best people to help him, and it's just not the news that we want to share, but there's just no other option other than just retiring him and
letting him be a horse.
So
yeah, which is really rubbish and is sad for everyone. And it does take a lot of courage to make that decision.
Oh, it's not been easy. It's just because he's so young.
He's so young, he's so beautiful, he's given you so much joy already, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Hey, you're a very special boy and you know it, don't you? Huh? You're so lovely. You're so lovely. You're so lovely.
Good boy. Good boy. So yeah, that's the decision basically. I'm so sorry about all these tears.
Well, it's totally natural, you care about them.
Have I got a mascara on my
No.
face? No.
Oh,
I didn't put
You're
waterproof mascara
You're
on.
good, you're all good at the moment.
So yeah, that is the decision basically, which is so sad, but I just don't want him to be in any more pain. And the surgeon said that he's going to be absolutely fine to lead a normal life in the field. Thank you, darling. Normal life in the field. And, because we're not asking anything of him,
I'm not sure about
and
that.
asking to ride him, he's going to be fine.
Yeah.
He's not going to be in pain.
No.
Oh, good boy.
Oh.
So, yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I would just want him to see him be happy, basically.
He can go and enjoy his life as a horse.
Yeah. He's going to have loads and loads and loads of space and friends. And, yeah, bless him.
It's been a rough road.
Oh,
It's been
awful.
so, and this decision is a massive one that has been, I don't envy anyone to make.
No. It's been so hard to make, and we've been through every through the roller coaster of all of the, no, we're going to do this, and okay, no, we're going to do that, and I just think this is, sensibly, this is absolutely the only option.
This is the selfless option as well.
Yeah, I'm not putting him through, and a friend of mine actually said to me, he doesn't care that he's not being ridden. He doesn't know. He doesn't care about that he's not going to shows and stuff. And, and I think that's so true. He just needs to be a pony. He loves this.
He does, doesn't he?
Be a pony, and yeah, basically that's it. We've still got him, and we're so fortunate we still have got our lovely Dandy, and yeah, we're just going to enjoy him from the ground basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, good boy. That is the vlog we never ever wanted to have to share with you. I can't believe what has happened, to be honest with you, but yeah, we've still got this beautiful boy, and you guys will still get to see him on our videos and stuff, but yeah, he won't be ridden again.
And he's going to go and be a horse in a field.
He is, yeah.
Aren't you, Poppet?
Good boy. I can't believe I put this. Well, to be honest with you, I spent like. So when we found out, I spent 3 days in bed just crying. Day and night, it's been awful.
This is the really hard bit of horse ownership.
I know, it's actually the first bit of heart. We've been fortunate enough, like
Yeah.
4 years, this has been the first bit of heartache that we've had.
They can bring so much joy, and when it doesn't go right, so much heartache.
Definitely. It's a boy.
Good lad.
Yeah, so that is our super sad news, guys. I can't get it together.
And he is going to go and be a really happy horse in a field.
Yeah.
And you've got all those lovely memories of the
Yeah.
time you did have
Yeah.
on board with him.
Yeah.
And he's lucky to have you guys.
Yeah, but he's actually going back to our producer who we bought him from. Good boy. Because they've got like so much land, and you know, they're just so geared up for having all that space, and he's going to have friends, and
Yeah.
we still go there anyway, so we're going to get to see him regularly. But it's just it's not the right place to have him at home. With
He needs
we haven't
space
got
and
the thing is, you know, we
friends.
haven't got we do rent extra land and stuff, but we would also need like a companion for him, because all our other ones come in at night, and our place is absolutely amazing for ponies that are in ridden work. But for him, he likes to.
He needs
For
space.
a pony
he
that's not
needs
being
friends.
ridden, he just needs to be out on a lot of land, especially if he's going to be out 24/7. So yeah, it's the best thing for him, and we've just got his best interest at heart, which is exactly why we just haven't injected him and just carried on and thinking it's going to be a quick fix and mask a problem. You know, it's literally a ticking time bomb of what would happen next, and we just can't.
You can't risk it.
Can't risk it. So that is the super sad situation, and that's everything that we know. I just need to let you guys know, because it's just been heartbreaking seeing like some of the edits and comments and stuff, and us knowing what we're going through. It's been so hard, and it's a situation we never thought that we would ever be in, especially with a young pony. It is so unlucky, and also it's so rare. But it doesn't even bear thinking about what could have happened if we didn't get investigated and we just carried on. We carried on going to shows, hacking, cross country, everything that we was doing with him this year. If we just carried that on and didn't know basically what was going on inside his body, and Harlow got back on him so sooner than anyone ever expected, because her whole recovery, when she broke her ankle, she was saying, I don't think I can do it, I don't think I can ride him, I've lost my confidence, and is he going to stop with me again? And as soon as she started feeling better and started riding the other ponies, she was like, no, I can do it, I want to get back. She loves that pony so much, and she was like, I can do it. And honestly, she blew me away. The fact that she just got on almost like it never had happened, that she'd had to have surgery and everything. So for her to have got back on and be in that amazing place with him, like feeling so good, and then us finding all of this out from that fall that he's had in the arena, no one just expected it. It's just come out of, when you look back and you see all of the incidents that we spoke about, and the breaching the jumps and tripping and not loading and stuff, and I don't know if that's linked or not. I still don't know, but I had spoken to people about it, and they said, well, it could be if he's not feeling his feet or it's feeling very strange for him. Would you want to be travelling in a lorry? It's just stuff like that, really. We're never going to know exactly what he's feeling, but I feel like we've just got to take an ethical approach, and putting him through 5 or 6 surgeries for our own benefit, have we got his best interest at heart by doing that? Does he really need to go through all of that? There is no guarantee that it's going to work. There is no guarantee that Harlow's even going to, I wouldn't want to ride him after, knowing that he had all these problems, and have they gone? It's just not a decision that we have taken lightly at all, and hence the reason why it's taken us so long to, let you know what's going on about Dandy. We've just been saying that he's on a break while we figure all of this out, and yeah, it's just been truly heartbreaking. I'm sorry guys, I keep getting upset about it. I'm just going to read a little bit of the vet's report now, just at the last, her last bit of comment, and just end it there because it's just too sad. I'm sorry to return such a complex and challenging diagnosis for consideration by all. There is much that can be done, and although each procedure inevitably carries some risk, no single procedure, except wobbler surgery, is particularly onerous to the horse, so long as all goes to plan. However, there is real potential that a large number of surgical procedures could be required if the goal is to pursue an outcome of a ridden pony, and that would preferably be by a consenting adult rather than a child. This requires very careful consideration regarding risk, recovery periods, total financial outlay, and the fact that the final outcome is by no means guaranteed. We could never definitely say that this pony will not trip up again, and the treatment path that could lay ahead is not one that I've taken before. Currently, it appears that he shows normal behaviour in the paddock and is not unsafe from a neurological perspective to handle from the ground. So with that report, I'm so grateful that we've had such amazing care and specialists on board with us to get to this outcome, but I'm so sorry that it's such a heartbreaking one.